Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're all well and have an incredible day as always, and a happy Memorial Day for anyone that's celebrating it over in the US. We've got Anna in the house, always eager to listen to that astronaut countdown that we have. We've got Draco in the house, Jimmy Thing 2020, and even Thanasimos as well. Geez, Jason, Jimmy Thing. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, as I said. And you know what time of the day it is. It's time to do a good old news roundup. So we're going to start here, as always, on the Flare Metrics site. Just to check in with the reward rates. Topping the charts for Flare is FLR Labs. Talk about them in just a second. We've got Alpha Oracle in second place. In third place, Flare Beacon, fourth place, AFTSO, and in fifth place, Ivy Oracle. So about FLR Labs, if we just go over here to the next tweet, they've actually been chilled, or they're going to be chilled, and that's because the Flare Management Group have chosen to all be in favor of chilling them based on the evidence provided that they have been colluding. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that you, as a delegator, you actually have the power to choose in a loose fashion who you decide to be accurate, right? So FLR Labs, they're topping the charts right now as a proven colluder, but the people that are actually delegating to them are giving them the power. If they had no delegations, their accuracy would be very poor indeed. So I would always urge people to delegate to people who you know are building, who you know are supporting the network and acting with good intentions. And if you are sadly delegating to FLR Labs and you don't change it, then you may be in for a shock in the next couple of epochs. Moving on to sparkles for the NFT collections. In the last 7 days, we've got topping the charts, we've got Flare Apes, usual top spot actually. They're doing pretty good all the time, to be honest. But we also have these from S-Toads. We've got S-Toads in second place, Luxury Lofts in third, the Lucky Claw collection in fourth, which I'm very proud of, and in fifth place we have Songbird City. So pretty interesting to see all of these going on, and it looks like, you know, it's great to see a mixture of both the Flare NFTs, but also the Songbird NFTs as well. Just goes to show that people haven't just magically migrated from one network to another. The Songbird network is going to live on much longer, and both of these networks will actually run in parallel. Voting is now live for STP04, that's Songbird test proposal, and this is to update the FTSO price pairs on Songbird. So there are a number that have been added, and there's also some that have been taken away as well. So if you're yet to do so, I'd highly recommend checking this out. In fact, let me just blow up the screen a little bit here. These are the pairs that they want to add. Don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to go through them all, but they're also choosing to remove 2 pairs here. I'm not sure what the reason is for them, but for removing them, but that's part of the proposal. So pretty interesting. Be sure to vote if you want your voice heard. As you all know, Songbird and FLR are governance tokens, meaning that you have a say in how the network is run. So please be sure to vote and participate. Recently launched NFT governance app, launched by myself. We had the first third party to actually take the reins and sort of allow their holders of their NFTs to have a vote with their own delegation, in a sense, or their own voting proposal, should I say. So this is for anyone who's holding a Flamingo and Friends, any of them two collections. You can go over to nft-governance.com and you can actually participate in a vote. And this is what the vote is. You basically just click vote and submit which vote you're in favor of, and it does cost 1 FLR, but in exchange you do get some FCC, that's Flare Community Coin, and all of the FLR that is generated through this application that I've built goes over to the Lucky Claw Treasury. So it's all part of a much bigger ecosystem. We've got the Fat Cats here with some refreshing news. They've got their mint date finalized, and that is going to be on Friday the 6th of June. So just over 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks and the 5 days. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So for those of you who don't know, you will get a Fat Kitten if you are holding a Fat Tiger, I believe. But this is what they look like, and I really do like their design just in general throughout their collection, because it's something that we don't normally see. You know, we've got the pixel collections, we've got the doodle collections, but this type of artwork is something very unique. So congratulations for them for setting a date, and yeah, we'll see what's in store in the next couple of weeks. This is pretty interesting because I feel like some people still don't necessarily understand this on a fundamental level, and it's the idea of bridging, right? So when you've got an asset on a network, let's say we have Songbird on the Songbird network, that asset can never leave that network. It's because it exists on Songbird and it can't exist anywhere else. What you're seeing when a bridge actually takes place is someone sending their SGB to a wallet, a custodian, and then they're replicating a synthetic version, basically like a copied version of that on another chain. And the custodian would release that to the wallet that sent the original asset. That's how it works, all right? So the native asset on a network can never actually leave its chain. But speaking of bridges, as you all know, the XDC bridge opened up quite some time ago now, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and today there was a new pool that opened. Initially we had the Songbird to XXDC, and that's been very successful in sort of gaining liquidity, and now we've seen XFi and XDC pair. So this is great, you know, and I think it's important to realize that Enosis really are driving the way forward in terms of total locked value on both Songbird and soon Flare, I imagine. So this is DeFi Llama, and they've actually incorporated some of these pools into their statistics. And if you want to go over to it, you can just find it at defillama.com. This is the Songbird network as a whole. And you can see, obviously, there was a peak back in the day. This is when the SGB value was very high. But since then, you know, if we can just maybe see that. Yeah, it's pretty steady, but it is quite a lot, you know. In fact, I guess this hasn't been updated because that's sitting at about 5 mil. But if we look over here at the bottom, Enosis is actually providing or facilitating almost 14 million worth of liquidity, right? So topping charts is Enosis, second place Pangolin, and third place is Oracle Swap. So pretty interesting stuff. And the Nasimos actually had something interesting to say. It appears that Songbird likes it when new assets and liquidity pools are added to Enosis. And this is just talking about the volume, right? So this LP token, the XFi to XXDC, opened today, and if we look at this picture here, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's almost at 500,000 total dollar transacted or total dollar volume in the past 24 hours. And that is actually pretty impressive, especially considering people, you know, always tout it as a test network when we obviously know that it is in fact a canary network, a very important distinction right there. Here we go. This is Banik, CEO of Enosis, and he's basically just talking about what they're doing. And this is a long tweet. I'm not going to go through it all, but a lot of it is to do with the bridging. It's to do with the new liquidity pools that opened. A lot of testing on other networks. I believe they have another asset being bridged in the near future. I think it's touted to be Ethereum and USDT, if I'm not mistaken, which will be very interesting indeed, because they're obviously very popular, and I imagine that there's quite a few people who use Ethereum that may want to use a much cheaper and faster alternative. Hey, we've got Janice Mickle. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Mickey. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. Be sure to check out the Discord too, because we have good old chats, good old chinwags very often in there, which are member exclusive. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that to your attention. And here's something that I actually really like. I absolutely love it when people play their cards close to their chest. And as I say here, I am actually one of these people. And it's sort of, for me, it shows that they're working on things that they value, and they don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. They want to retain this information so that they have the competitive advantage. And one of the people who I know is especially fond of doing this is the Kingsman of the X-Toads project. He's got his infamous black box. He's working on things behind the scenes, as are the whole of the X-Toads team. And this may be one of the reasons why last week they had all three of their collections in the top 3. So they're working pretty busy behind the scenes, and they had the launch of their XRP game, which I found really quite mind-blowing, actually. I think it's the first of its kind in terms of smooth gameplay and actually integrated with a real network. It's pretty impressive, and if you haven't checked it out, I'd highly recommend doing so. Yeah, I don't do things by half, thirds, or quarters. I remember initially introducing the concept of using like delegation rewards to give back to holders back last year, maybe a bit longer ago, when I introduced the Poker Club collection. But it's the same here. So 100% of the Lucky Claw sales went to the Lucky Claw treasury. It's not 50%, it's not 30%, 100%. Also, 100% of the FLR royalties go to the escrow wallet, which is going to be given to all of the Lucky Claw holders. 100% of the FLR from sponsorship and all of the NFTs and all of the physicals go to the escrow. Same with the governance app fees. That's what I was just talking about here too. So yeah, I'm super excited for the Lucky Claw project. I'm working very hard behind the scenes, and there's a lot of things coming up in the next couple of weeks as per the roadmap on Discord. We actually had a new highest sale. This was pretty crazy. This was for the very first ball number 1. It actually sold for 100,000 FLR, and that absolutely blows my mind. You can find them on Sparkles right now, and the current floor price is 8.1 FLR. So feel free to check that out if you haven't already. I want to move on to Uppercent. They're providing basically an educational platform where you can sort of register your interest in a course by buying an NFT. And this is quite a unique concept. I'm actually planning to meet with the Uppercent team in a couple of weeks because they're having a launch event, I think. So that should be very interesting to meet them in person, but they've been really making steps in the right direction. And in fact, they had a few creator announcements, and you can sort of see the caliber of creators that they're bringing onto their platform. So this is Chris Croft, one of the most successful business trainers in the world, having trained over 18 million students. And his courses train over 22,000 students per day. And there's been some good snippets on this guy, Chris. He's like you say, like the caliber of people that are recruited within the Uppercent. It's not, it's not the Uppercent. They say the top 1% of achievers, and I'm pretty confident that Chris Croft is in the top 1% of achievers, So for those who were skeptical, this is basically sort of proof in the pudding, right? These are going to be really high quality courses curated by an amazing team, and the quality really is there, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this sort of develops over the course of the next months and years. So here's another thing as well. Another creator, Ashki Puparelia, and he founded a property agency that sold for $1 billion in assets. Youngest honoree in the Forbes 30 under 30, so quite high caliber. Again, another one, you know, who's next? I was talking to Jake, he's the CEO, that's Jake here. We actually had an interesting interview, which I'd highly recommend people check out. It was part of the Flare Community podcast series. But yeah, that's pretty much the news today. Lots of exciting things going on. I did just want to give us like sort of a little show of this. The Ripple X Apex Dev Summit is now actually open for tickets. I've actually bought one of these, so if you do plan on going to visit this in Amsterdam, be sure to drop me a message and maybe we can hook up. So yeah, that's just thought I'd let you guys know about that. Before we leave, I would just like to apologize. I'm leaving for a train very early tomorrow, like 5:45, so there isn't going to be a Patreon member chat this week, so I do apologize. I'm going to get myself straight to bed. But yeah, that's the weekly news. So I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Please enjoy the rest of your day as always. And until next time, I'm out.